guys, how's it going? It is Friday night and I'm sitting here practicing my craft. Um, I just finished doing some video readings and sending off some emails with some videos with some tarot readings in them for some clients. And I don't know, I just thought, why don't I, while I'm here in front of the video, make myself a YouTube video. So, wow. I'm going to tell you that this has been quite a journey for me, and that 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, when I stepped onto the Reiki table and I stepped onto the healing path, it was because I needed healing. And my first Reiki circle was so kind and so gentle and so welcoming that I couldn't deny that there was something to it. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's just that we step into a space where everybody has your best interest in mind, and where whether there's energy or not, whether you believe in energy or healing energy or whatever, when you walk into a room and there's 10 or 15 people that are just focused on making you feel relaxed and loved and in peace and, in harmony. And there's really nothing like it. But beyond that, like since I started learning Reiki, one of the most profound things that I've learned was from people and animals that don't speak, that don't have any way to give you feedback other than to just watch their bodies relax when you do it. So, that goes for animals. Animals are a huge indicator of how you're doing. Um, dogs, dogs will come running up and you put your hands on their hips or their back or wherever they guide you to, because they'll like sidle up. You put your hands out, the dog's going to show you exactly where it wants Reiki. And watching the dog like move under your hand or relax or have enough of one spot and then move to another spot. They want your hands there. They want to feel that energy. I want to share with you uh, an instance where I was out at a farm and I was with a friend of mine who was also a Reiki practitioner. And she was going to trade me Reiki energy work for riding horses. And I'm like, I love riding horses, so I'm all about that. And we went out to her farm. And this was, this has been 10 years ago or so. We went out to her farm and she was taking me around and she was sharing, information about the property. And these were horses. There were 15 horses on the property that were trained in the horse whisperer style. So, like you could put your hands on the reins and, do the little like this. And they knew, they moved, they sensed every single thing about your movement and connection. And the people women that ran the farm were training them to work with children with autism and people who had head injuries, and so people who needed gentle connection, people who needed to work with these animals and these animals needed to work with to be gentle and learn trust and learn about working with energy. So these horses were already finely tuned, but we were beyond that. We were walking out past one of the pastures, and there was a big draft horse. She was like Clydesdale, and her name was Haley, and Haley June. And she's out standing in the field, and we walked up to the fence, and my friend said, Haley, come on over. And so the horse starts walking towards us. And I noticed that she's walking, that her right hind leg was kind of lagging and she had a limp. And I asked, the woman about it, and she said, "Oh yeah, she's gonna develop this limp, and I don't know what's about." And we got into the corral, and we are standing next to this really big, Clydesdale horse, and I'm just being, curious, and I'm petting the horse, and I'm go along her spine, and I came all the way back to her hindquarters, and I've got my hands up towards what would be her sacrum, and I'm just kind of feeling around there if there was maybe a glitch in her sacrum or in her tailbone, and seeing if I could sense it. And so I ran my hand down her sacrum, and I held it there for a moment, and then I ran it down the hindquarters and all the way down the leg and all the way down to the ground. And when I got to the ground, I just patted the ground. I came down past her hoof, and I patted the ground and like thought about the energy grounding into the earth and straightening out that kink. And that was it. And fired up. And I walked back around to the front of the horse, and she looked at me, and she nudged me, and she laid down on her back at my feet, and she rolled on her back like a dog, and just is like paddling her legs in the air and rolling at my feet. And wow. And my friend said, "What did you do?" Because I have never seen her react like that. And I was like, I just gave her a little Reiki. And yeah, apparently the horse liked the Reiki. You get that reaction with dogs, with horses, with cats. Now, cats are a little bit, you know how independent they are, but they'll come and they'll lay on you, and they will also absorb energy. And then when they've had enough, they'll move. Children, same thing. Very sensitive. There's a certain point, though, where we get to a place where we're desensitized to it, where, you can't necessarily feel the electrical magnetic field around you. And the training is about resensitizing yourself to that. So Reiki training is about, teaching you how to go over the body and feel what's going on, and feel if there's any spaces or places where, energy's being locked up or let go or whatever is happening. It's about being aware and rebuilding your energy field, about, marking your boundaries, about having your energy to yourself. One of the other things that has been occurring to me, and that I wanted to talk about on that level, is that one of the most profound experiences beyond Haley June, the horse, and, a lot of smaller incidences where that immediately somebody's headache is dissipated, or, you get some really positive feedback. I had the privilege of working with a man for a year. And he was about 36 years old. And his birthday would have been right about now, in the beginning of April. And he had ALS. And when I met him, he had been bound to a hospital bed. He had a feeding tube. He had a catheter. He had could not speak. He could not move. He could say yes or no with his eyes. If you asked him a yes or no question, he would blink for yes. He would gurgle. He couldn't speak. They would put stuffed animals in his hands because his hands would clench up. His legs were curled up. In particular, his right leg would roll in, and his foot would roll in. And I would show up every Monday night, and after a while, his caregiver would say, "Oh, John, it is the lady who makes you purr." And I became the lady who makes him purr. But John was a mathematician. He was very logical in his lifetime, and he was very smart, very smart. And I did explain right off the bat kind of what I was doing, but there wasn't a whole lot of discussion. I told him that I was there to help him relax and that what I was doing was to remind him to relax into that part of the body. And I would start at his head and move down his body, work on his abdomen in particular, because when you're laying there, he could lay there in bed. He was bound to his bed. And, you're not getting exercise. His belly would, um, you know, tense up and it wouldn't be moving right. And he would get infections and whatever. So I would move down his body. And there were times where I'd put my hands on his stomach and you could literally watch and feel his stomach like roll, like the energy wave move through his abdomen and roll it out of the way. And you could see in the hour and a half that I was there, you could watch, I would leave and his hands would be relaxed and his arms would be down to his sides and his foot would unroll and he would sleep like he didn't sleep. Because when you're in bed 24/7 and you don't know when it's night or day anymore, and it doesn't matter because all you're doing is being in bed, sleeping is a problem. So he would sleep better. He would unfold. His blood pressure and his heart rate would respond to the Reiki. And that, my friends, is the biggest reason why I do this work, because I know that it relaxes. I know that it takes care of things. I know that it moves us out of our own way. It helps strengthen our field and it helps to connect and reconnect and help us, our electrical beings. Our nervous system is all about electricity. Our heartbeat is all about electricity. Our soul being is the electricity that ignites and illuminates and, animates this body. That's why I do Reiki. Not because people told me it was amazing, because I've seen what it does and how it helps. And I want to help as many people as I can. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm glad you're here. And if you want to learn more about it, keep watching. Check in on my Rock Reiki page. Message me, whatever you got to do. I'm here to help because it's amazing. And I'm grateful. Thanks for listening. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. I will see you soon. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends, whatever you got to do. Let's get the word out. Reiki rocks.